They stopped responding. You see them online, active, posting, but your message? Ignored, and your mind starts running. What did I say? Did I do something wrong? Should I text again? Stop. This is where most people lose, not because they were ignored, because they chase what already walked away. Here's what the Stoics understood that most people never will. When someone ignores you, they're not testing you. They're revealing themselves. And the only question that matters is, are you going to listen? Most people don't. They panic. They double text. They explain. They apologize for nothing. They turn silence into a problem they need to solve. But silence isn't a problem. Silence is information. And information doesn't need fixing. It needs accepting. When someone removes their attention from you, they're communicating clearly, not with words, with absence. And absence is the most honest language anyone can speak. The Stoics had a principle. Watch behavior, not promises. Words are easy. Attention is expensive. And when someone stops spending it on you, that's not confusion. That's clarity. Your move isn't to chase it. Your move is to respect it. Here's the shift most people never make. You think their silence is about you. It isn't. It's about them, their priorities, their capacity, their level of investment. And none of that requires your explanation. None of that requires your pursuit. It only requires your acceptance. The moment you stop chasing what walked away, you stop bleeding power to it. So what do you do when they ignore you? Nothing. Not as punishment, not as strategy. As discipline. Discipline is the difference. Because here's the truth. Every time you chase someone who went silent, you're telling them their attention is worth more than your dignity. And once you teach someone that, it becomes the rule. The Stoic response to being ignored is simple. Observe, accept, withdraw energy. No drama, no explanation, no performance. Just stillness. Because stillness communicates something words never could. I don't need your attention to validate my existence. And that quiet certainty separates people who get walked on from people who don't. Here's what happens when you stop chasing. One of two things. Either they come back, because absence creates contrast, and contrast creates curiosity. Or they don't. And if they don't, you just saved yourself months of performing for someone who was never invested. Either outcome protects you, because you're not waiting, you're not hoping, you're not refreshing the screen, you're living. And people who are actually for you don't make you beg for presents. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When someone ignores you, that's an outside event. You cannot control it. You cannot fix it. You cannot force it. All you control is whether you let it disturb your center. And disturbed peace costs more than any relationship is worth. The Stoics didn't chase. They observed. And in observing without attachment, they remained free. Here's the pattern people miss. The more you need their response, the weaker your position becomes. The less you need it, the more grounded you become. Not because you're playing games, because you're not playing at all. You're steady. And steady is rare. Steady feels safe. Chasing feels desperate. And desperation repels every single time. So when they go silent, don't fill the space. Let it breathe. Let them sit with it. Let yourself sit with it. And watch what happens when you stop making their absence your emergency. Most of the time, nothing changes. And that nothing tells you everything. Here's the part no one tells you. Being ignored only hurts if you're still trying to be chosen. The moment you stop performing, their silence loses its power. Not because you stopped caring, because you stopped outsourcing your worth. From their attention, back to your own center. And center doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it doesn't double text at 2 a.m. hoping for reassurance. Center just stands. I used to think silence was rejection, that if someone didn't respond, it meant I wasn't enough. So I tried harder, said more, explained more, apologized more. And every single time, it made things worse. Because I was answering a question they never asked. They didn't want more effort, they wanted distance. And I kept showing up in a room they already left. The day I stopped, everything shifted. Not because they came back. Some did, some didn't. But because I stopped treating their silence like a verdict on my value. Their absence became data, not judgment. And data doesn't wound, it directs. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." When someone ignores you, that is what is happening. You can fight reality. You can text against reality. You can argue with reality, or you can align with it. Not bitterly, not coldly, clearly. The stoic response to being ignored is not indifference. It's clarity. Clarity that says, I see what this is, I accept what this is, and I refuse to beg it to be different. That is not cold. That is sovereign. Final truth. When they ignore you, they are giving you information, not kindness, not cruelty. Information. They are showing you their level of investment without explanation. An explanation is not required. Silence means, I'm not investing here. The moment you accept that, you stop investing there too. The strongest move when someone ignores you, let them, not as revenge, as alignment. For their choice, for your dignity, for the reality that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. And that is not rejection. That is selection. Stop chasing what walked away. Stop explaining yourself to people who stopped listening. Stop performing for an audience that left the room. When they ignore you, the stoic response is simple. Observe, accept, move forward, and let your peace be more valuable than their attention ever was. Because people who are meant for you never make you beg to be seen.